Welcome, folks, into New Orleans Saints Now. I am Tom Downey, breaking down the latest on the New Orleans Saints head coaching search. As we sit right now, there are 5 either interviewed or planned interviews for the Saints at the head coaching position. Noticeably not on that list is Byron Leftwich, who was requested, but no interviews been set up. So let's begin with the first of the interviews. That was Doug Pederson, interviewed back at the end of January. He's also in the mix, apparently, for the Jags head coaching job, which, quick aside, disastrous search. They interviewed Pederson weeks ago, and both sides reportedly were like, it's not the right fit, whatever. Because the Jags have botched this so hard, they were going to get Byron Leftwich, and then that fell apart because of Trent Baalke. Well, now Pederson's back in the mix. It's all just a giant disaster. But he's also in the mix for the Saints head coaching job. And it's not often that you're able to replace one Super Bowl winning head coach with another winner. That is Doug Pederson and the opportunity the Saints have in front of them. 2017 was that magical year for Philadelphia, 13-3, Nick Foles, Philly special, etc. Things didn't go quite as planned after that. A couple of 9-7 campaigns. 2020 was the really rough year. 4-11 and the tie, which is always un-American. But Pederson does have a good resume. Maybe he hasn't interviewed that great in terms of what he would plan to do with his various supporting staff, etc. But if you do pick Pederson, I'm not going to complain that much, nor would I suggest you complain if you're a Saints fan. So what do you think? Should the Saints hire Doug Pederson, or do you want somebody else? Haven't spent too much time on Pederson this cycle because it was a bit of a surprise interview. So I'm going to make this question the pinned comment on today's video. Type in Y for yes, N for no. What do you think? Does or should the Saints hire Doug Pederson? If you get the ad break here on YouTube, take advantage of it. While the ad plays, go type your Y or your N. Let's focus now on the presumed favorite for the job. That is Dennis Allen, who is set to get his interview on Thursday, most likely at the Senior Bowl, since that's where all the coaches and GMs and front office people are right now. He served as defensive coordinator under Sean Payton since 2015. And even before Sean Payton actually retired, this was the man viewed as the favorite to get the job. He was the Raiders head coach, of course, from 2012, 2014, where yikes, it did not go very well. But I do believe that Dennis Allen has earned a second shot as a head coach. And I think he was probably not ready for that Raiders gig, but he spent a lot of his time in New Orleans outside of a brief stint as the Broncos defensive coordinator, spent time as the assistant D-line coach, secondary coach, took over midseason as the Saints defensive coordinator, and his results have been incredible, consistently producing top 10 caliber defense with a talent level that I don't actually think is top 10. I think it's more like top 15. And when it is top 10, it's more like a top 5 unit. So talent level, defensive success often directly correlated, duh. But I think Dennis Allen does a great job of getting the most out of his players on the defensive side of the ball. And when you've had a long, sustained success with one head coach, it does make sense to go with the internal promotion. Dennis Allen knows the Saints. He's done a fantastic job with that defensive coordinator room. I'm always a bit surprised he doesn't get more head coaching interviews, but New Orleans, I think, is a logical fit for him as a head coach candidate. If you guys want the best Saints coverage on YouTube, then subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, type S in the comment section. The first 5 people who type in S in the comments, we're going to give you guys a shout out on the next video. So if you haven't already, go subscribe right now. And once you do, type in your S's. Let's discuss Brian Flores. And this is interesting. He did interview with the Saints on February 1st before his bombshell lawsuit alleging the NFL is engaged in racist hiring practices. He's now suing the NFL over what's happened in his time with the Giants this cycle, the Broncos in the past, and the Dolphins, well, back when he was their head coach. He was fired, surprisingly, as the Dolphins head coach after 3 pretty solid seasons. Now, Flores met with the Saints, this is per Mickey Loomis, by the way, the GM, before he filed that lawsuit and gave the Saints a heads up that was in the cards. His resume in Miami is actually pretty good, and among his various accusations was that Dolphins owner Stephen Ross offered him $100,000 to lose games, and Flores kept winning, and that upset Ross, and eventually they fired him as soon as they could, having not made the playoffs in 2021. Whether that's lawsuit true or not, well, we'll let the whole process play out, but he did interview, and you would assume is a real candidate for the Saints job, unlike he allegedly was not as part of the Giants head coaching search. So of these three names, who would you hire as head coach? Type in DP for Doug Peterson, DA for Dennis Allen, or BF for Brian Flores. I'll say there are no wrong answers on this list, but I want you guys to cast your votes for me right now in the comments section. Today's show is powered by our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code CHAT125 for a 125% deposit bonus. You can bet on the Saints' next head coach. I locked in Dennis Allen plus 300, 5 to win 15. Feel good about that particular bet. You can bet on the Super Bowl as well. The Rams, a 4.5-point favorite over the Bengals, 48.5. Are we cheering for the Bengals or the Rams? I know we're not cheering for Eli Apple, but there's some other Trey Hendrickson guys, for example, on the Bengals. So maybe Bengals win, Eli Apple gets burned. Can we get on board with that one? Either way, bet on them or against them at chatsports.com/bet. Promo code is CHAT125. The interview that went down today was Aaron Glenn of the Detroit Lions, who I know you Saints fans know oh so after he spent 5 years under Dennis Allen as the defensive backs coach. Dan Campbell hyped him up today as near as I can tell, and Mickey Loomis did say the interview went down today. Glenn was also still coaching at the Senior Bowl, which the Lions are a part of this year. I wonder how good of a shot Glenn has. Because if you're going to hire Aaron Glenn, would you hire him over Dennis Allen, who was his boss for 5 years? I think it's a logical interview because of the connection with the team and that Glenn is viewed as a young riser in the NFL coaching world. And, of course, he played for the Saints only back in 2008. But I would wonder if Dennis Allen has the advantage over Aaron Glenn because you're kind of going with a promotion, but you would hire the more experienced one. The Glenn defense in Detroit was a little bit better. Not that much better. The Lions were, let's call it what it was, garbage in 2020 on the defense side of the ball. And they were slightly better smelling garbage in 2021, where they were not last, just second to last in pretty much all the major categories. A little bit better in yards per game. So I do think Glenn had a positive impact, but that team is breadth of talent on that side of the ball. So you weren't expecting that much. The latest name on here, which is intriguing, is Darren Rizzi, who was also kind of sort of in the mix for the Dolphins head coaching job a couple of years ago. Rizzi is the current special teams coordinator for the New Orleans Saints. And it's not often that the special teams coach ends up getting hired. But that is the case here with Rizzi. Now, he's been the special teams coordinator since 2019, longtime coordinator and associate head coach in Miami, 2010, 2018. He was interviewed for that job as well, so it seems like wherever Rizzi is at, he does enough to get an interview with the current team when they begin to replace their head coach. However, doesn't have that great or that valuable production in terms of other head coaching jobs at the FCS D2 level. University of Rhode Island, 1 year went 3-9. University of New Haven, 5 wins, and that's not great either. So Rizzi is a candidate, but I don't think he ends up getting hired. Frankly, that'd be a pretty big stunner if he got the job. So who is your dream head coach for the Saints in 2022? Maybe it's a guy not even on this list. One rule, though. You can't say Sean Payton. Yeah, that's the dream, but that race done been run. So let me know in the comments section who your dream head coach candidate is for the New Orleans Saints in 2022. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to us here at New Orleans Saints Now. That way, we can give you guys more videos on the Saints coaching search, plus tons on free agency, the trades that go on, the rumors, and the NFL draft.